Okay, and welcome back to part 2. So in this section, we're just going to, try use everything we've learned to create something. Okay, so without further ado, let's go. So I'm just going to click on F or click on the frame tool to get a phone. Let's go with iPhone 14, 15 Pro Max. I'm just going to call this maybe concert card. Okay. And let's just go ahead and give it a dark blue color right there. Let's go to blue. Let's work with okay, let me go with this 900 blue, but I'm going to unlink it and just increase this. I just want to go darker. Let's go darker. Okay, great. Some bluish here. Okay, so you can just use that color right there. You can let me switch it to hex so you can actually see the color right there. Okay, but you can also try using your own colors. The next thing I want to do now is to get like a 32px margin so we can see exactly what we're doing. So let me click here and go to layer grid. Grid, I want to go with column, and for the count I just want 1, and for the margin I just want 32. Right, so I can actually see where to start placing things. So the next thing I want to do now is to just maybe pick my text tool, type happening this weekend. Okay, so happening this weekend, let's leave it at 24. I could just do happening this weekend. Okay, let's take it up to, let's bump it up to 32. Okay, so happening this weekend. Now what we're just trying to create is like a card for an artist. So the next thing, I want to get a frame. So this frame, okay, this particular frame, let's make the height 660. So this frame is going to hold the button. Let's just give it a white color so we see what we're doing. And I want to go ahead and make the corner radius 16. Okay, yeah, 16 should be fine. Now I'm going to duplicate this. Let's go to layer. Let's call this one photo. So we're going to add a photo, a picture here, and we're going to call this one just frame. Okay, it's going to have a frame. So for this photo, let's go ahead and also change the color to something grayish, but that's not what we're going with. I just want us to use it so we can see what's going on. Now for this one, I'm going to make the height 600. So now we have this this kind of stacking card right here. So the next thing, I want to go ahead and get a picture, and for this picture, to get a picture already, go to plugins and use Unsplash or Pixabay or FreePic. And once this loads, I want to go ahead and type in musician. Let's just type in musician there. And make sure you select the element where you want to add it, right? You have to select it, if not, it's not going to work. So let's see this guy. Okay, great. Okay, and here let's select these two, let's move them up a little bit, and let's select this one, let's move it up a little bit. Let's measure. Okay, that's 34. Let's make it 32. Okay, I think 32 is fine. Let's push it up a little bit more, somewhere around 24. Okay, let me see. Okay, I think this is fine. Now I want to add some text here, but as you can see, if we should just go ahead and type it in, let's try that. Let's type in Ricky Martins. Okay, I don't know who this is, but I'm just going to say Ricky Martins, and let me duplicate that again. Control D. I just want to go ahead and type in live in Abuja concerts. Okay, for this particular one, I want to go ahead and change it to caps lock so that it uses uppercase. Okay, live in Abuja. And for this, I think the line spacing is too much for me, so instead of 32, instead of auto here, I'm just going to make it 30. Let's see. Okay, let's go with 32 as well. I don't want too much line spacing for this particular caption. Okay, now you can see I can barely see it, right? So this Ricky Martins, let's select it. Let's go make the font 16, and let's make it, instead of bold, let's go with medium. Okay, for this particular, instead of 32, we want to go with 24 right there. So remember to make the line height as well 24, okay, so that you don't have so much. So let's select these two now and auto frame them, Shift A, and for the space between, let's go there and make it 8. Now as you can see, I can't really see, it's not really visible, it's not very legible. So what I can do, what I can do here is to select our picture, the frame holding the picture, right? Photo, this particular one. Then I want to make sure I drag this should be on top of that frame. Okay, it should be on top of that photo frame for now. So let me select this now, and let me click on this plus sign. Okay, I want to make use of that visibility there. So I want to create like an overlay. You can see already we have, it's becoming more legible, but let me make it 100. Then I want to come in here and choose gradient, right? So for this particular, I can just switch the directions, or you can make that one white, right? Now you can see it's looking better already. What I can do now is to also reduce this here. Okay, so I can have that subtle effect. Let me just make it 80, so it's more precise. Okay, the next thing, we're just going to make a small card here that's going to indicate how many people are likely to attend this event. So let me go ahead and draw some ellipse. Let's go ahead and draw some ellipse there. So let's make this ellipse 32. Okay, it's just going to be small. So let's add a stroke, a white stroke to them. White. Okay, so let me duplicate this 1, 2. Okay, we have 2 here. Let's just make it 4. 3, 4. Okay, so this 4, now I want to add pictures inside. So what I can do is to go to Figma plugins and on Splash. Now if I just want to fill in some group set of pictures inside, right, I don't have to, you know, select the pictures one after the other. All I need to do is to make sure I select all the shapes. Now with all the shapes selected, I want to go ahead and go to preset. So once I'm on preset, I'll click on portrait. So it's going to automatically fill all of them with pictures. Okay. Okay, here we go. So let me go ahead and close this for now. So what I want to do now is to add this in an auto frame with Shift A. And instead of giving them a positive space in there, I'm going to give them a negative space so that they can just collapse into each other. So let me go there and make it -8. Okay, so you have this kind of effect. You can even go make it -16. Okay, so we have this kind of effect. So the next thing I want to type in, let's say 1.2k attending. Okay, 1.2k attending. Okay, I'm just trying to create something so the design doesn't look blank. So let me go back here and set this to, let's remove this. I just want to go ahead and make this font, let's use our normal font, regular, and size there, let's go ahead and choose 14. Okay, so I'm going to select this, and I'm going to add them in an auto frame, Shift A. Let's go ahead and close that up. Let's make it 8. Okay, and here let's go with 16, and here we just want to go with 8. Okay, 8. And for the border radius, let's go with 100 pieces, 100 px there, so we have everything right there. So for the color, let's just go with something purple-ish, right? But then I also want to reduce this to 50. Okay, so you can see how we are using some of these things we just talked about, and I'm coming to drop them right inside here. And okay, let me select these two now and Shift A. Now for the space between, let's go with 16. Oh, 16, sorry, 16, not 116. And you want to also measure to make sure it is 16 here, and also at the bottom we need that 16 right there to maintain the consistency. Okay, So here we have this, okay, so we have this card right here. Let me deactivate that column because we can see better now. So we can see, you can see what we have already. The next thing I want to do is to pick my text tool and let me type in purchase tickets with my caps lock on. Purchase tickets. Okay, for this I want to go ahead and make it 16. Since it's a button, let it just be around semi-bold, sorry, 16. And here let's go with semi-bold and let's just drop it right here. Okay, but again, something I want to do is to select this particular one, the one we called frame. Let's go ahead and give it a color. But you know, we've learned about different things, so let's go with gradient color. So let me select this first one and I want to go with something orangey here. And for this one, let's go with something orangey. Okay, let's make that 100%. Okay, and this particular one here, 100 and then 100. So let me rotate it. Let me just bring it down a bit. You know, it's quite long. I didn't want to like cut it, right? I would have cut it, but I didn't want to do that. I just want it this way. That way we can have this right here. Let's bring the dark one this side and then the lighter one, which is this yellow, this other way, so it just blends better. Okay, okay, good. Now I'm done with this, and let me go ahead and center this way. And remember, you can't use this because this is actually very tall. What I can do instead is to just make sure I select this to center, and I want to make sure it's the same height from here to here, 17. Okay, we have 19 there, so let me just move down. So we have 18 here, 18 here. Yes, so there's an exception there. Okay, I'm also thinking of making this, let's see, bold, the purchase ticket. Okay, okay, so we might actually go with semi-bold so it's not too. Okay, great. Now one other thing we can do is to give this particular thing a kind of soft edge, you know, inner shadow, so that we can have that effect there. Let it just glow a little bit. So to do that, I go to effect, click on the plus sign, and I just want to go ahead and add inner glow. So for my inner glow, I want to come in here and type in -4, right? I also want to do -4 here. Okay, so you can actually see it already right here. And for this, I want to go with 8. Let's just go with 4. Okay, for the color, let's go with white. Okay, let's increase it so that you can actually see what's going on. You can see what we have right here. Let's make let's try 2. I just want it very very small right there at the corner. Okay, so now we can reduce this opacity somewhere around 75 should be okay for this. Now you can see we've given this card this soft glowy edge right there. Okay, so yeah, it adds to it. Okay, it adds to it for sure. If we also want, we can actually go ahead and increase it back to 4. I think let me make it -4 there. I think I like the -4 better. -4, it's just more pronounced. Okay, so you can see the little effect we just added there, how it has actually improved the outcome of this design. Now the next thing, remember, we're just trying to practice what we've learned so far. I think this one color here is quite boring, but before that, let's do something else. Let's select this. Okay, now once we've selected this, let's go ahead now and try giving it a blur. Let's click on the plus sign again, and I want to go with drop shadow. Okay, for this drop shadow, I want the white to be like 48. You can see it's dropping right here, and let it go in, let it move in back more. Let's go with 24, -24. You can see what is going on there. And for the blur, let's go ahead with let's say 96. That should be ×2. Okay, and for the color, we want to select this. Remember what we said about color, it should reflect the background, right? So let's select this background, and let's just make it darker, so it's having that blue, right? So let's zoom backwards, and yeah, this is what we have going on right here. The next thing we want to do is probably, let's select everything here, and I probably want to move them up a little bit. Okay, good. Now we don't have our status bar here. We would have used it for the measurement to make sure everything is accurate. Okay, let me just move it down small. Let me see, 69. Let's just make it 70. Okay, now the next thing we want to try out here, since we already have that background, let's create a new background. Now let's draw a circle, pick the ellipse tool, and then push this right inside this frame. Okay, let's just do something like this, and I want to go ahead and copy one of those colors we did. Let's just give it this color. Okay, let's just give it this kind of purple-ish. Okay, let's go ahead and send it to back, send to back, so it's at the back. Now you can leave this way, but we just want to try out some of these things we've learned, and let's select this now and go to effect, and we want to change the effect to layer blur. And for the layer blur, let's go ahead and make it something around 150. Let's even make it 200. And we can take this circle up, okay, we can take it up, and then let's decrease the opacity to somewhere around 75. Let's go with 50. Remember, you're just using your eye for now to check what you're trying to achieve. Okay, so yeah, so you can now go ahead and lock this ellipse so you don't easily move it. So voila, so you can see that we've combined this these different effects that we've learned to actually improve this design here. Okay, it's not just flat. Now, like I said, this is not always the case. Sometimes you want to go with a more flat kind of style, but sometimes you just want to make the design pop a little bit more, so you begin to add some of these effects to it. Okay, for the next one, let's create something else again. For this one, let's get the iPhone card again. Let's call this one, let's just call this one MVP card. And for this one, let's also use another approach here. Let's start with the background instead. So I just like, I don't know, there's something about this blue that I just like, so let's go ahead and use this blue. Now let's get our circle again, our ellipse, draw a circle, but this time around we're going to use two colors. Okay, let's just drop it there. Let's use two colors, or let's use this particular color. Okay, let's choose this particular color, right click on it, and you want to go and say copy property, and then come right inside here, and you want to paste that property. Okay, so we have all those colors right there. So with this, what we want to do right now is to go ahead and give it an effect. So for that effect, I want to go into effects. Okay, and remember, we want to go ahead and choose layer blur, because we want to blur this layer. And then if we go 100, 150, okay, so you can see right now we now have, let's lock it as well, we now have two colors, unlike here where we just have one color. Remember, you can do extra things if you want. Okay, the next thing I also want to do now is to also get a circle, again an ellipse tool, draw that ellipse tool, and let's go ahead and give it a color, two color fill gradient. And for this, I want to go with this light blue right here. Okay, this light blue right here, and this one, remember, we can just take it, we can just take the same color, but now we can just increase it down here, or we can go back to HSB, and we just want to move maybe 194. Okay, I think I want to also reduce this to like maybe 80. Okay, so let me even increase it to let's move 70. Okay, so this is what we have right here. Okay, we want to have this. Let me just change it to radial. Okay, so let's switch this to, no, I want it's actually okay the other way. Okay, but I want to do it, what I want to do here is to drag this and put it just somewhere here, so it forms that oval kind of shape. Okay, You can see, so that's the work of radial. So let's drop that, and I'm going to just place it somewhere right here. The next tool I want to pick is this particular tool, the polygon tool. So select it and then just draw out a triangle there. Let's go ahead and make the corner radius 16. Okay, and let me go ahead and rotate this while holding down shift so it's perfect. Okay, and I want to also go ahead and give it a gradient fill, and I think I want to go with that's this orangey stuff here. Yes, and then yes. Okay, I want to go with this kind of effects, and also I'm going to increase this, and it's just going to be somewhere here. I think with this out of the way, I can actually say, okay, I've gotten my backgrounds that I want to interact with. So let me go ahead and just lock them so we don't mistakenly displace them. So the next thing now, we are going to start our adding the content. So what we want to do first is to put in, let's just put in, you can put in your name, Wheels Obu. Okay, I'm going to zoom in now, Control D, and here I just want to put in product designer, right? You can put UI UX designer, you can put anything there. And let's go ahead and make this one size 24. Let's be realistic, 24. Okay, and for this we want to go back to our size 14, and we want to, instead of bold, we just want to make it regular. Okay, so regular, and yeah, so these are supposed to be related, so let's select them and do Shift A, right? So with Shift A there, Shift A, let's go there and make it 8. Okay, the next thing we want to get is a button that says connect. So connect. Now this button is going to be semi bold right there, and the font is going to be 16, and let's do Shift A. Now for our Shift A, for the top, let's do 16, and for this particular one, let's do 32. Okay, and let's go ahead and add the corner radius there, 16, and make it white. Now this white, I'm going to just reduce the opacity to 50%, so we have something like this right here. Okay, so you can see the difference between using, if you use this 50% for this fill, only that particular shape will be affected. But if I should come in here and let's say 50%, it will affect everything inside. So be careful, know the difference. Okay, so 100%, we're back to 100%, and we need a frame to hold the pictures. Okay, so let me just bring these guys down a little bit. Let me get 2 circles, use the ellipse to draw the first one. So I'm going to just draw the first one, and I'm going to color it white, and then I'm also going to draw the second one, Control D. Okay, let me be more let me calculate it better. Let me use 110 here, that's 1110, and for the inner one, which will hold the picture, let's use 100%. So let's go back to our widgets on Splash. So we just need a profile picture right there so that we can fit it inside the shape and drop it inside this bigger circle. Okay, and so here we go. Let's go to search, and under search we just want to select this portrait, so it generates those portraits for us. Let's go ahead and just look for one. Should I use, which one should I use, which one should we use? Okay, just look for any picture you want, and you can go ahead and click on that picture. Let me just use this one. I really don't like this picture, so I don't know. Let me go back up. I'm looking for, I would have actually typed black portrait, but let's just scroll back up. Let's use something I think I'll just go for that first, the first guy, but let me try this one. Okay, I want something that will match the name. So it's loading. Okay, I think I will just go with this. Okay, so I want to pick this and then just drop it inside here, and let me zoom in a little bit, and I probably want to maybe instead of 110, let's go with 120. Okay, so let me select these two now and group them well. Okay, so let me go ahead and just group these two, Ctrl G, and I'm going to call this photo. Okay, profile photo. So this profile photo is closer to the names. Okay, so I'll select this and Shift A. Then for the spacing, I want to go ahead and use 8 because I want them closer if you want. Okay, so the next I want to select these two and this and do Shift A. Now for this, I want us to use the custom size. So let's go ahead and put in 300 right there for the width, and for the height, let's put in 360. Okay, let's go with 360 for the height. Okay, sorry, 360 and 300 here. Oops, I think that was affecting the button. Let me do it to a couple of Ctrl Z here. Okay, let's enter that. Let's enter this. Okay, 300, 360. Okay, good. Now let's give it the background color white. Okay, white. So this is where the magic happens. Let's go in there and make this 16 or 32. Let's see 32. Well, 32 is kind of too much, but let's work with it. The next thing I want to do now is to come and reduce the white here. Okay, remember I want to use fill. Let's come in here and let's pick gradient, and I'm still going to use radial for this. Okay, radial, and yes, so radial, I want to just put this side, okay, and put this, drag this way, something like that. Okay, something like this. And for this particular one, I want to reduce the opacity to like 75. And this one you want to maybe bring it somewhere here. Okay, and let's put it somewhere here. Okay, great. So we have that there. The next thing we want to do is to add a stroke to it. So let's add a stroke, and the stroke as well, we want to use gradients, and this we want to make white. Okay, and this also we want to make white, but then with lesser transparency, so we can, depending on where we want to simulate the lights from. So this I think is fine. Okay, so that's fine. Let me go ahead now. So for these guys, for the padding, let's go ahead and use something like let's just use 36 there, although you won't actually see the effect because we are using a fixed height. Let's use 16 right there. For our button, we want to select it and set it to fill container. Okay, now the next thing we want to do now is to add our effect. So let's go down to effects, add that effect, and we want to choose background blur. So you can see it there, right there, is already affecting it. Let's go ahead and increase this blur to like maybe 25. Okay, and the next thing we also want to do once we get this blur up to 25 is to also come in here where we have this radial fill, and let's go with 50 and see. Okay, so you just have to be checking. Okay, now when it comes to glassmorphisms, you also want to add like a texture. So there's need to add like a texture to this. So to add the texture, all you need to do is to go to your Figma plugin. Let's add a noise texture and then search for noise. You can just click on it, search for noise. It's going to load. So what you want is to add that noise and reduce it. So this noise is okay. So you can just click on this plus and it's going to become the fill. But like I said, we don't really want this noise to be well pronounced. So I'm just coming here and I probably reduce this to 4. Now it's there, but it's not there. That's the effect you are looking for. Okay, it's there, but it's not there. For us to finalize this now, the next thing I probably want to do is to add some glow effect to it. So let's come down here. Okay, and once we are down here, we want to click on that effect. So let's go ahead and click on effect. So effects, and we want to use inner shadow. Okay, inner shadow. Let's go ahead and the first one, let me use 4 here. Okay, and we want to go ahead and make the color white. Okay, so you can see we have this effect coming out there. 25 is good. Next, click on the plus sign again and add inner shadow here. Now for this, I want to use 2, and I also want to make this white. But this particular one, oops, it's actually drop shadow, sorry, inner shadow. Okay, 2, 2. But this particular white, I want to make it more pronounced, so that I can have this kind of, you know, soft edge kind of. Let's go ahead and also make it 8. Okay, no, let's go ahead and make it 2. Okay, good. Now the next thing I want to also add again, I want to add the one from the bottom part, so inner shadow. Okay, now this should be from the bottom part, so we should go with -4. Sorry, that should be -4 there, and also -4 here. Okay, and for the color, let's go ahead and choose that white right there. And for this one, we're just going to reduce it more. Okay, instead of 24, let's go with 15. Instead of 21, let's go with 15%. And voila, so you have this kind of glassmorphism effect. So one last thing I want to do is to copy this now. Let's select this and let's go to copy properties. I want to specifically select this big guy here. That's this particular one, the frame itself, that ellipse. Right click, and I want to go ahead and paste those properties so that it can inherit these effects. Okay, and let's try it on this button and see if it is fine. We take it. If it is not fine, we just leave it. Paste properties, and okay, great. So we can see exactly what is going on right there. For this particular one, I can actually select this button and increase this radial to somewhere like 75. Let's make it even 100. Okay, although right now accessibility is suffering too much because of that connect. One thing we can also do is to select this connect right here. Okay, select this connect and add an effect, shadow effect, and you just want to go ahead and increase this to maybe somewhere around 8, and the blur you want to make it somewhere around 16. Let's reduce this to like 2. Okay, oops, let's reduce this to like 4. Okay, so remember the color, let's pick this color and let's pick this one and then reduce it. Let's reduce it. Okay, that way we've given it like a kind of, you can see it's more pronounced. And then what else? We can just pick our text tool and we can type in designer of the week. Okay, designer of the week. Okay, and we can bring it here and then let's go with 32, and let's go there and make that extra bold. Maybe that's what we just want, and let's try uppercase and see, although I'm not sure it's going to work out fine. I don't really like it, but let's just stick with this designer of the week. Okay, so I don't really like the button. I think for the button it's too rounded for me. I just want to go there and make it, let's see, 8. Okay, so you can see what we have right there. And I would have actually removed the effects, but I just want us to use it like this. Okay, let's go ahead and remove those effects. I don't like the effects. I don't like it. Let's just go ahead and hide. Okay, I think some points, some parts is actually okay. Okay, I think what I want to do is to edit this. Let's go back here. Let's edit that our radial to make it more visible. This particular one, let's increase it more. This one, let's select this and increase it more. Okay, great. So let's do that, and let me activate this back. Okay, I think I was just having issue with that radial there, so let me deactivate this one instead. So now we have this kind of effect, and it's called glassmorphism. So you can still play around. So it takes quite a while to get used to this. Let me select this. I think it's looking a little bit cranked up. Let's go with 16. Okay, so it's looking a little bit cranked up. And what did we use here for? Okay, no, we can't use this. Let's go ahead and use 32. Okay, so here we go. We have this kind of effect. The last thing we'll probably want to do is to just add like a shadow. So it's dropping like a shadow. It's casting a shadow downwards. And let's make this all the way rounded 100. Remember, for your shadow, you want to pick a color that is close to the background as possible, and moving down more and add that effect. Okay, and you want to put layer blur, and let's go in and make our layer blur 50. And here you have it. You have that layer blur right there at 50. Let's decrease it 25. Okay, so yes, you can bring this somewhere here and then just center it to the frame. Okay, okay, great. Now remember, you can actually add more things to this. You can if you want more shapes, let's assume I want this shape. I locked it, right? So let's assume I want that shape. I want this particular shape. I can go ahead and duplicate it, Ctrl D, reduce the size, and I can just maybe decide to put this one somewhere at the top, and maybe change the color, change the radial, change the color stops. Okay, let's go with maybe something. What should we use? What hue should we use? Let's go ahead, let's check this, and let's go ahead and do this. Obviously the green is not working. Okay, the green is not working, so okay, I think let's do this. Let's do something very bright. Okay, I want to go ahead and desaturate that color right there. Okay, so we can just go ahead and then maybe move this one somewhere at the bottom. You just want to be careful so it doesn't go inside the auto layout. And also, if you want to really avoid the auto layout, you can zoom in. Now hold down shift when moving it. That way it maintains that particular place. Okay, so now we have these two effects, and you can see by applying this effect you can actually make your design to pop. But like I said, all these things you have to make sure you use them in a very subtle manner, right? If this were to be a project I'm working on, I might still have to take some time to tweak this effect till they just have that perfect balance. But you can see how we've used some of those effects we've learned. You can see how we've implemented them. Basically, when you look around everything here, you see that we implemented almost everything we talked about in that effect class. So try this out and try recreating things on your own, and remember, make sure everything is under this effect page so that when we are checking it, we'll know that okay, this is what you did on that effect page. See you in the next class, and bye bye.